Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. You know, it's the next Harrison Ford masterpiece. Just kidding. It's not. Harrison Ford's not in it. It just looks like him. But it's going to be an Xbox exclusive, right, Randy? Xbox and PC, isn't that?
That's what I was told at one point. I remember it specifically being said that it was staying on Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tim or Tom told us that, and I'm pretty positive that when I called them up to go ahead and prepay, you know, whatever it costs for a couple months of Game Pass, I think they quoted me like $350, something like that. I think I wrote them a check for $350. They said I was going to be able to play this and other people wouldn't.
That only you would be able to play it.
That's what I heard. I heard it was exclusive. Did Tim and Tom rip me off?
Well, I don't. Yeah. So basically, let me just go away from Daniel's pure sarcasm here, y'all, because he can't do anything but sarcasm. He only has one dial, and it's either he's asleep or sarcasm.
That's rude. That's rude as hell.
But what has happened is that, so Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is going to come to PS5. And this was something that was specifically said. Phil Spencer said that it wasn't happening a while back when they did the whole, like, we're bringing some games to PlayStation. Remember that meeting that happened or that thing they did? It was basically like a podcast. I think specifically Indiana Jones was brought up and said that this game, nope, it's going to be Xbox. Well, they have backtracked on that. They've backpedaled. And now it's going to be coming to PlayStation 5. Not day one. It's going to be a timed exclusive to Xbox and PC, but sometime in the spring. So just a few months from now, anywhere from 3 to 6 months after it releases, it's going to come to PS5.
Yeah. So that got announced at Gamescom, and that's kind of wild. You know, I did read that apparently at the beginning of the development cycle for this game, they thought it was going to be multiplayer, and then they kind of pivoted and were like, nope, this is PC and Xbox. And I'm wondering if they kind of called an audible kind of late in the game, and maybe that's why it's not day one. I mean...
Interesting. Yeah, I think you may be right about that. I also had that thought at one point, but I kind of had dismissed it. I wasn't really sure because it has had some mixed things going on. Because obviously this is a Bethesda published. I think who is it that's actually putting it together? Who's the developer? Is it?
Oh, I don't remember.
Machine Games? Why does that sound wrong to me? But maybe it's right.
Yeah, it is Machine Games.
Okay. So this is Bethesda published. And so, you know, games take many years to develop now. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that long ago that Microsoft acquired Bethesda. It was post this game starting development. And then now it's like, okay, it's going to be a Xbox exclusive, and then now it's not. So it's kind of flip-flopped.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you think Bethesda started working on it, thought it would be everywhere, got bought, and then decided to stop working on it?
Not stop working on it. Oh, you mean the PS5 port?
Yeah, I mean the PS5 version.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I actually don't know how much it takes to take like an Xbox Series game and port it to PS5. I've heard that this generation is one of the easier generations to have, like, to create ports from like Xbox Series to PlayStation 5. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it takes no work, because I'm sure it does, but I don't know how long, like if they were like, we got to get back started and that's why it's a delay, or maybe they're just like, we've been focusing on the Xbox version. As soon as it comes out, our focus is going to be to get the port for PS5 ready. I'm just not really sure.
Yeah, I'm not either. I just know that for those of us who wrote Tim and Tom a big fat check, we feel a little shafted. Not gonna lie.
Do you legit? I mean, I really cannot tell through your sarcasm. Like,
Randy, do you think I called somebody named Tim Howard and wrote him a check for $350 for Game Pass?
Do you really feel like you got shafted? Like you were planning on like you really wanted this to be an Xbox exclusive?
No, I don't feel strongly either way, but I was kind of role playing as somebody who might have been excited about getting a cool Xbox exclusive. But I don't know how many people feel that way, to be honest with you, but I'm sure it's a non-zero number.
Well, I think there is an interesting conversation to be had about that, about like, should it have stayed an Xbox exclusive? Is it better that it's going to be a PS5? Where are people going to be playing it now that it's going to be coming to PS5?
Right.
And we actually have a poll about that specifically.
Do we?
Where we asked, where will you play Indiana Jones and the Great Circle? And we had very interesting numbers here. Daniel, hit us with the results.
Yeah, so at 16%, people said, I'm going to play that thing on Xbox Series. At 11%, people said PC. 16% also said, I'm playing it on PS5 in 2025. And 57% of people said, I am not interested in Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Well, if I was the Indiana Jones, developers here, or Microsoft, their publisher, I would be a little concerned because that 57% of people saying they're not interested.
Yeah.
That's not a good number.
No. And I think you could speak directly to Tim and Tom because you know that they're watching.
Right. But also interesting here that an equal number of people are going to say they're going to play it on Xbox Series. And then the exact same number of people are saying, you know what, I'll just wait for the PS5 version.
Right. The fact that they're dead even.
Yeah.
That's really to me, that, just a knee-jerk reaction, that kind of makes me think, well, what if I wasn't going to put this on PS5? Did I just miss out on, half the console player base that would have played this game? Like, was this a good idea from the start? That's kind of where my head goes.
Oh, like
to not be multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't think so. Because how many people were going to buy an Xbox to play Indiana Jones? Zero. No one was going to buy an Xbox.
Not a single person.
Maybe not a single. Someone probably would. Somebody like some huge Indiana Jones fan.
This is the Game and Gig podcast where Grandpa makes bold statements and always stands by them.
Always. No, I was being maybe a little facetious there.
Yeah.
But I don't think many people. There probably would be some select people who would be like, I'm playing this game. I'm going to get an Xbox to do it. Not many, though, I would suspect. And what would be really more interesting to me is if you take the 16% of people who are going to play on Xbox and the 11% of people who are going to play on PC, and you find out what percent of those people are going to buy the game versus what percentage of both those numbers are going to play it on Game Pass, I'm going to guess a vast majority are going to play it on Game Pass. They're not actually going to buy the game.
So you're predicting maybe less than record-setting numbers at the box office, so to speak?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
You could definitely say that. I don't know. I mean, like, in looking at this game, kind of like Black Myth Wukong in a way, like we were talking about earlier, I've not seen anything in this game that makes me like, oh, I really want to play that game.
Me neither. I mean, I was always a Star Wars kid. I was not necessarily an Indiana Jones kid. I always thought Indiana Jones was cool. I've never had anything against him. Never anything but positive vibes for Indiana Jones. But, like, I'm not a rabid fan. And this game, I haven't seen anything that caught me, that makes me really want to do it.
Oh,
in fact,
we have
yeah.
Go ahead. We have a comment from Het here who just said, I'm just going to say it. Who was asking for this game? I mean, like, I think the idea of an Indiana Jones game, just as a concept, there's been other Indiana Jones games. This is not the first.
Name another one.
Well, I can't say that I played one. But I will say,
I bet it's named after a movie.
Despite my reservations, like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, nothing really makes me want to play it. I am way more apt to try this game because I am actually really interested in the Xbox games that come out. I really like to try them. I think it's cool that that they're like such a big publisher now, and they have Game Pass, so you can play them with very low stakes. So, like, I am way more apt to try them, and I like to follow what Xbox is doing because I think it's just they're like a big science experiment, and I kind of want to be in on the experiment one way or the other.
Is that how they want you to think about them? Because that is a really funny way to think about it. Xbox is like a science experiment, and you don't want to miss it when little Timmy pours baking soda into that volcano. You just never
That's
know
what it
what's going to
feels
happen.
like. That's what it feels like. I'm serious.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming
that-
from.
Yeah.
I mean, they spent
the
all
fact
that
that I can
money
play it
acquired.
low.
Sorry, I keep talking over you.
No,
We're
keep going.
we're out of sync here for the through the cyberspace. I don't even remember what I was going to say anymore. I lost my train of thought.
I was going to say the fact that you can play these games for so little upfront cost is what makes me really interested. It makes me so that feel like I can follow like every big move that they do, like every big game they put out. I want to try it because like I really do feel like Xbox is making all they're doing all the things to like just try. They're trying literally everything, and I am all for it.
Yeah,
I love to see it.
I agree, and I remember what I was going to say. They spent all this money, acquired all these studios, they have all these IPs. So if you ignore what Xbox puts out, then you could potentially miss out on a lot of things. At least that's what I hope. I hope that they begin to put out a lot of things.
Right. Well, then if they continue, I mean, like, I don't know. I have some more thoughts, but they get addressed in the comments later. So let's go into those.
Okay.
So we have a comment here. This is actually a comment from a VGC article. This was not on the poll. This one's from Las Vegas, who says, I'm really surprised they announced it so early. I guess maybe the fact that the licensing for these kinds of IPs is so expensive. They want to get as many people as possible to pay attention, wish list, pre-order, etc. I still think they could have waited and got all the attention they wanted without giving their own console another gut punch before the holiday season.
Yeah. When I was reading this comment initially, I thought that was interesting because I do hear people talk about, like, I hear developers talk about how important the wish list is, like to let people know that you're interested in the game. And if you have a huge IP like Indiana Jones, I understand you want to show some statistics. But it is a gut punch, right?
It feels like that. I mean, like, it really feels like they could have waited.
It seems that way.
They could have waited till January and said, "Oop, you know what? It's coming to PS5 on, say it's coming to PS5 in March or April." A couple months lead up, they wouldn't have cannibalized holiday sales of the game. Potentially on Xbox. They maybe could have gotten those 3 people who would have paid for an Xbox to play the game to do that. Or at least maybe they could have influenced people's minds in thinking that, like, if I get an Xbox,
Right.
at least there are some exclusives. There's like a reason to own it. Even if they're not playing Indiana Jones, there's going to be more in the future. Now I think that you can't even think that. You can't buy an Xbox and be like, at least there are some exclusives in the future coming. I'm not
No.
so sure that there is.
No, I mean, everybody was afraid when the Activision, the big, deal was going through that all these games would become exclusives. Like that was the big thing. Like, is Call of Duty going to be an exclusive? And you could say that for every other game. Now it seems like we're all like, come on, guys, is anything going to be? Right now, all they've got is Starfield and Redfall. And I know Sony's trying something out with Yoncord, but like, come on, bro.
Heck said, comment on YouTube if you're one of the 3 buying an Xbox for this Indiana Jones game.
Please do comment on YouTube if that is you.
Yeah,
Let Grandpa know that you are worthy of respect and that he should not slight you on the internet.
Yeah. All right, let's go to our next comment here. This one, I'm going to let you try to pronounce this one and read it, Daniel.
No problem. This is from Durajo. Nailed it. Who said the forced first-person perspective really turned me away from this game. The only thing that interested me was playing as Indy, and we will barely see him on gameplay. So,
yeah, I think we've talked about this when this game got revealed.
Yeah,
First person just
feels really weird. It feels super weird.
I think because like when I think of Indiana Jones, and I think of like what I'd want an Indiana Jones game to be, Well, I already know exactly what I want an Indiana Jones game to be because those games already exist. They're called Uncharted and Tomb Raider. And I love those games so much. And they're third person. So they're just like what I imagine
Would
like an
you
Indiana Jones game to be.
would you have been excited if they announced an Indiana Jones game and it just looked like another Tomb Raider? Or would you be like, man, we already have this. It's called Tomb Raider and Uncharted.
I think I would be more excited because I'd be like, you know what? I love those games. Sure, let's take another. And, this is a big IP. It's Indiana Jones. Like, that's cool. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I think I would be excited about it. I wouldn't think that it was just like a ripoff.
I kind of respect them for trying something different. But I don't always love first person, so there is that. I do love Sea of Thieves, and I have loved some games over the years, but it's not always my thing, And I do think it's a weird choice because Indiana Jones is so iconic, and I understand they're trying to like make you feel like you are Indy, right? It's supposed to be like immersive. But how immersive can I feel as being Indiana Jones if I don't know I look like Harrison Ford?
Right. I mean, I'm
At all
sure
times.
cutscenes and stuff will show you. And like, I don't know. I kind of feel like sometimes I am a little bit of a first person hater because I just prefer third person games. But I do like, I intellectually know that like there are things that work better in first person. And this game may be one of those things. They may have tried some different things. And they're like, look, the game just works better in first person. It's like a better experience. So at the end of the day,
Intellectually?
I know that intellectually, but in my heart, I just feel like I would rather Indiana Jones to be a third person game. But that's just not a good argument. It's just really not. It's just the way my emotions are,
Right. Well, there's nothing wrong, with having your emotions, Randy, and you don't have to apologize for what you feel.
No, and
even if you feel it intellectually.
Yeah.
All right, we got another comment here from Nick of Time Productions. Go ahead and hit us with that, Game Paul.
Yeah. Says, I'm a massive Indiana Jones fan, so my brother is going to be lending me his Xbox when the game comes out, and then I'll buy it on PS5. This was the first game that made me consider getting a new Xbox, but now that it's coming to PS5, I won't bother. Been extremely happy with my PS5. So this is one of those three people. It could have been one of those three people, but because they're bringing it to PS5, it's down to two people now.
Okay, and based on our statistics, that would mean that 33% of people who were going to buy an Xbox for this game now won't.
That's exactly right.
Man. That's wild. Also, like, you rock, Nick. I love that you love Indiana Jones enough that you were going to buy an Xbox, and now you're just going to buy the game after you borrow the game. I love that.
Yeah, that is cool. And I guess, that kind of also saves you, like, if it's a bad game, which I don't know that it's going to be. It looks okay. Like, nothing about it looks bad.
No.
Nothing about it looks like I got to play that game. It looks so amazing.
Dude, first-person whip simulator? Hear me out on this.
Now that you say that, I'm kind of feeling it.
That's the idea. And, it's also got Troy Baker, who we're big fans of.
That's a good point. That's another reason that I want to try it, honestly. I simp for Troy Baker. I'm not going to lie to you.
Me too, man.
And that's bad, but Troy Baker is so good that it makes me want to try any game that has Troy Baker attached to it. I am like instantly like 15 to 20% more interested in it.
If loving Troy Baker is bad, I don't want to be good.
I think you're supposed to go with the wrong and right, but bad and good works too.
But you said bad. You said, I know that's bad, but... So I was basing
So you're
it
just
off
rolling with what I said. Gotcha.
I was attempting to, yeah.
But
Won't
so
happen
although my excitement for the Indiana Jones game is low, I'm going to play it because it's on Game Pass.
Right.
I've got PC Game Pass. I'm just going to play it on PC.
Well, there you go.
And I think that it's cool. Like, that's why I love Game Pass so much, is because of games like this. Maybe games that I am only marginally interested in. Well, now I've got the option to play it. I can try it, and without, paying $70 or whatever it costs to play this game if you wanted to actually pay for the whole thing.
Yes. Now, I would point out that you're kind of your own worst enemy here because, You know, you say you want these Xbox, you want Xbox to try whatever they need to try and want to try. You want to support them. It gets you excited. And how putting things on day one Game Pass is shooting yourself in the leg. But I also understand your point of view that even if you know that it's shooting them in the leg, you're going to let them do it.
No, I'm not saying I want. I'm yes, I would like to support. I don't even necessarily support is the right word. I just want to see it happen, and I want to be involved with it in whatever way.
Okay.
I just want whatever happens. I want to be there. I want to, like
You're just you're along for this, ride all the way to the bottom of the cliff.
yeah. And if they pull off a sweet maneuver and save themselves, I can be like, I saw it happen. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And if they crash and burn, I was like, I watched it. I played the games. I saw it crashed and it burned. I saw
That's
it.
right. You can show us the scars from the burns.
Right. I mean, and
You can be like, I
gamers,
played
right?
Red Fail.
Like we are gamers. We should play games and not just talk about them. So I am interested, and if I can play them for cheap, that's my favorite way to play them.
That seems counterintuitive to a podcast. I don't really like to play games. I just like to talk about them.
Okay.
Am I not
Sure.
am I not accepted anymore?
No, you can be that way. Only one of us can be that way. I think that to have a balanced podcast, we can have one person who only talks about games and never plays them, but we got to have one person who actually plays them.
But doesn't talk about them.
Right? Doesn't talk. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'll just you'll see me sitting here with a controller in my hand,
Right.
while you talk about video games.
We'll see the soft glow of an LCD upon your face, but other than that, we won't even
That'll
know
be
that.
it.
Won't even know what you're doing over there.